what happens when you finally kick the bucket, so to speak? Despite our mostly science-grounded views of death these days, it seems many of us believe in life after it. In 2014, UK citizens were polled by The Telegraph, and just under 60% of respondents said they believe some part of us lives on. In the US, still a very Christian nation, Pew Research in 2015 asked people what happened after you die. The survey found that 72% of Americans believed you go to heaven, which was described as a place where people who have led good lives are eternally rewarded. 54% of US adults replied that they believed in hell, which was described as a place where people who have led bad lives and die without being sorry are eternally punished. With that in mind, welcome to this episode of the Infographics Show, What Happens When You Die? Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. It seems a lot of people do believe that after death we might be ensconced in some cloud-strewn paradise, or conversely, if we haven't adhered to the ethics prescribed to us by our chosen religion or denomination of that religion, we might be faced with eternal hellfire and the prospect of groveling to a bearded red man who hardly ever puts down his pitchfork. But let's start with some empirical realism and what actually happens to the body when we die. Physicians know you're dead because the heart stops beating and there is no longer any electrical activity in your brain. Brain death equals dead, although machines can keep you going a little bit longer. You can also have what's called a cardiac death, which means the heart stops beating and blood no longer flows through your body. The strange, even wonderful thing is, people that have suffered cardiac death but have been brought back to life have said they were aware of what was going on around them. Others have talked about walking towards a light in such a near-death experience. You can be brought back from what we call clinical death, but you only have a grace period of about 4 to 6 minutes. But let's say you get to the light and pass through. This is what we call biological death. Game over, the final whistle, dead as a dodo. This is where it gets kind of undignified, but what do you care? You're dead. Once you're definitely no longer with us, your muscles will relax, and this means your sphincter will too, meaning that triple whopper and large fries you had for lunch will spill out of you. The gas you have in you may also leak out and cause a stink. The same goes for the pee you've got in your bladder. So dying, not surprisingly, is a bit of a messy affair. And men, you might even ejaculate. As for women, you may give birth after you have died if you were pregnant, which is something called coffin birth. It doesn't happen often, though. Instead of pushing, it's the gases in the abdomen that squeeze the newborn into the world. As the body gets rid of what is trapped inside, noises may be emitted from your mouth as air escapes. Nurses and people working close to dead bodies have regularly reported hearing very alive-sounding moans and groans coming from dead bodies. You may twitch, but this doesn't mean there is life in you. These are just muscle contractions. You could also soon get an erection if you died lying on your stomach and the blood flowed down there. All your blood will pool to a certain area of your body. This is called livor mortis, and it's the reason parts of you will have that dark purple color you have seen on TV. With no blood flowing through your body, it will begin to cool down, known as algor mortis, or simply death chill. It will keep cooling until it is the same temperature as your surroundings. You will become stiff within about 2 to 6 hours, and this we call rigor mortis. This is because calcium is getting into your muscle cells. Cells break down without blood flow, and that's why you start to decompose. You may look like your hair or your nails have grown, but that isn't the case. What is happening is that your skin is receding, giving the impression of growth. The skin will loosen too, and blisters will appear on the body. The next stage is putrefaction, when bacteria and microorganisms start feasting on you. You'll soon start to stink as bad as anything you could have imagined while you were alive. One person described the smell as rotten eggs, feces, and a used toilet left out for a month times 1,000. It is unholy. Soon, everything that is soft becomes liquefied, with things like bones, cartilage, and hair remaining strong. You're already well on your way to decomposing by the time you are being put in the ground, but if embalmed and buried, decomposition could be a slow process. Left above ground, you'll be a liquefied mess within about a month, feasted on by insects, maggots, plants, and animals. Underground, some experts say it might take 8 to 12 years before you are reduced to nothing but a skeleton. After about 50 years, even your bones will become part of the earth. We should add, the rate of decomposition depends on many factors. While some people report that their near-death experience was a scene to behold, that's not always the case. One person wrote that it was just black emptiness, no thoughts, no consciousness, nothing. Is there really something else? René Descartes believed the soul was separate from the body. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about eternal recurrence, living the same life again and again forever. That idea alone might make you want to live well. We can compare this to the wheel of samsara by Buddhists, where life continues in cycles through reincarnation. Buddhists believe enlightenment can end this cycle, achieving nirvana. Or do we go to heaven hoping we lived well enough? Or do we simply return to the earth, our existence just a temporary spark? While this all sounds grim, maybe it's better to think about your life now. But let's get back to the big question. What actually happens after that final moment? Science still cannot fully explain consciousness. Some say it ends with the brain. Others believe it may be something deeper. Near-death experiences show similar patterns: tunnels, light, peace, and out-of-body sensations. Some even claim to meet deceased relatives. Skeptics say it's brain chemistry. Believers say it's evidence of something beyond. So what do we make of that? Quantum theories suggest information may never truly disappear. Could consciousness persist in some form? There is no solid proof, but the mystery remains. Across cultures, humans have always searched for answers. Egyptians, Hindus, Christians, and Muslims all have different views of the afterlife. Why do we believe? Because the idea of nothingness is hard to accept. Belief can give comfort or meaning. Others find meaning in knowing this life is all we have. Every moment becomes more valuable. So maybe the real question isn't what happens after death, but what you do before it. Because right now is real. Your choices matter. The impact you leave behind might be your only form of immortality. Your actions ripple outward. In that sense, part of you lives on. Maybe that's enough. Or maybe there really is something more. Until we know, death remains one of life's greatest mysteries. So whatever you believe, your time is limited. Use it well. Thanks for watching. What do you think happens after we die? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell. See you next time.